The show Deadliest Catch thrusts viewers into the heart of one of the most dangerous professions on Earth, capturing the raw chaos and relentless fury of the Bering Sea as it punishes crab fishermen with towering waves and brutal winds. Beneath the excitement of high seas drama lies a haunting undercurrent of tragedy, a sobering tale of lives lost to the merciless ocean. Each season is a reminder of the sea's unforgiving nature. And as the icy waters continue to claim lives, one must ask, how many more must be sacrificed before we fully grasp the gravity of the risks these fishermen face? For nearly 2 decades, Deadliest Catch has captivated audiences worldwide with its unflinching portrayal of commercial crab fishing, showcasing the heart-stopping moments aboard vessels tossed by tempestuous seas, while peeling back the layers to reveal a deeper story, one of perseverance, profound loss, and the indomitable spirit required to survive in such a perilous environment. The question looms large. What drives these captains and their crews to return to the sea season after season despite the constant danger? The answer lies not only in the promise of financial reward, but also in tradition, pride, and a deep connection to the sea that defines their way of life. Alaska's frigid waters are no playground. They are treacherous, hostile, and often deadly. The fierce competition for crabs means that hundreds of boats head out, risking everything to haul in their share of the catch. The television series may focus on a few vessels, but the reality is far broader, with countless others also navigating these lethal waters, each with its own story of hardship and endurance. Every deck is a battlefield where one misstep can mean serious injury or death. Waves smash against the hulls with relentless force. Freezing winds cut through layers of clothing, and the decks become slick, icy gauntlets. But it's not just the physical challenges that weigh heavily. The emotional and psychological tolls are equally punishing. These men and women, driven by a mix of hope and necessity, are constantly tested, not just by nature, but by the ghosts of their own pasts. One of the most emotionally resonant stories in the series is that of Jake Anderson, a captain whose path to the wheelhouse has been paved with immense personal tragedy. Once homeless and battling substance abuse, Jake's struggles were already daunting before he was hit with even more sorrow. In Season 5, he received the heartbreaking news of his sister's sudden death while at sea, a moment that rocked him to his core. As if that weren't enough, just a year later, his father mysteriously vanished, only to be found dead in his abandoned truck. These crushing events could have destroyed anyone. But Jake persisted, returning to the sea with a fierce determination that spoke volumes of his resilience. Jake's story is just one of many that exposed the deeply human element of Deadliest Catch. Another example is Joshua Tell Warner, a deckhand whose secret past as a bank robber came back to haunt him. Between 2007 and 2009, Warner had committed a string of bank thefts before joining the show. When authorities connected the dots and arrested him in 2010, his promising television career ended abruptly, and he was sentenced to nearly a decade in prison. His tale was a shocking reminder that many of these seemingly heroic fishermen are also battling inner demons and difficult pasts. Reality television might glamorize aspects of their lives, but it cannot shield anyone from justice or personal consequences. Then there's Captain Sig Hansen, one of the most iconic and enduring figures in the series. Born on April 28, 1966 in Seattle, Washington, Sig is a fourth-generation fisherman who inherited both a love for and an obligation to the sea from his Norwegian father. By age 24, he had become captain of the Northwestern, fulfilling a legacy that had been years in the making. Throughout the show's history, Sig has been portrayed as a pillar of strength and leadership, mentoring younger fishermen like Jake Anderson and ensuring that his family name remains synonymous with Alaskan fishing excellence. His daughter, Mandy Hansen, has since stepped into the family business, pushing through skepticism in the male-dominated industry and proving herself capable of surviving and thriving in one of the harshest professions on Earth. Despite his commanding presence, Sig has not been immune to personal and professional hardship. His on-screen heart attack was a jarring moment for fans and crew alike, exposing the very real physical dangers that come with a life spent battling the elements. His close friendship with Captain Phil Harris added another layer of emotion to his journey, and Phil's death was a deeply felt loss. During Season 6, Phil suffered a stroke, and in a raw and powerful moment insisted that the cameras continued to roll as he fought for his life. He ultimately passed away just days later, leaving behind his sons Josh and Jake Harris and an audience devastated by his loss. Since then, Josh has tried to uphold his father's legacy by captaining the Cornelia Marie, facing numerous personal and professional obstacles along the way. Jake Harris, on the other hand, has struggled more visibly, his battle with addiction playing out in and out of the public eye. His downward spiral, marked by run-ins with the law and attempts at recovery, serves as a harsh reminder of the mental health challenges many fishermen face after prolonged exposure to the stress and isolation of life at sea. The challenges faced by the crew members who film Deadliest Catch are no less daunting than those of the fishermen themselves. These camera operators spend up to 5 weeks on the vessels, capturing more than 30,000 hours of footage each season under the same perilous conditions. They must contend with saltwater damage, freezing temperatures, and the constant risk of injury, all while striving to document the raw intensity that makes the show so compelling. While some scenes are enhanced or refilmed for dramatic effect, the danger is never faked. What viewers see is largely the real deal. Genuine high-risk labor carried out by people who put their lives on the line for every dollar earned. Financial hardship also looms large in the lives of these fishermen. Alaskan crew members often rely on state subsidies just to make ends meet, while out-of-state workers tend to earn higher wages. The 2005 implementation of the quota-based catch share system helped improve safety by allowing crews to wait for more favorable weather. But the Bering Sea remains one of the deadliest workplaces on Earth. Injuries, accidents, and fatalities are still a grim part of this industry. Over the years, the series has seen several high-profile exits, such as the Hillstrand brothers, who departed after a legal dispute, and Captain Elliot Neese, whose struggles with addiction led to his departure. Although he celebrated 90 days of sobriety in 2017, Elliot was arrested again in 2022 for drug trafficking, resulting in a prison sentence. His downfall is a somber illustration of how quickly personal demons can resurface, especially in an environment as high-pressure as commercial fishing. Tragedy hasn't spared the production crew either. One of the most shocking off-camera events was the murder of director Joseph McMahon, who was fatally shot outside his home. Other crew members, like deckhand Nick Mavar, have also succumbed to their personal struggles, with Nick's death from a drug overdose shaking both cast and fans. These losses serve as painful reminders that behind the thrilling episodes are real people with real vulnerabilities, many of whom battle substance abuse, depression, and the lingering psychological effects of their experiences at sea. The path to becoming a commercial fisherman in Alaska may appear straightforward. Get a license, get a boat. But true survival demands grit, expertise, and years of hard-earned knowledge. Most of the individuals featured on Deadliest Catch have spent their lives on the water, learning from family, tradition, and personal trial. They know how to read the sea, navigate storms, and handle equipment in conditions that would send most people running. Even seasoned veterans like Sig Hansen face health scares and emotional challenges that never get easier with time. His 2 heart attacks were sobering events that tested his will and resolve. But his continued presence on the show underscores his deep commitment to his family, his crew, and the legacy he has built. It is this balance of hardship and humanity that keeps Deadliest Catch relevant and emotionally resonant. Unlike other reality shows that rely on contrived conflict and artificial suspense, this series delivers real stakes, real losses, and real courage. The storms are not metaphorical. The danger is not scripted. The people are not playing characters. They are living their truth under the harshest of circumstances. The Bering Sea is a violent and unpredictable arena where towering waves, freezing temperatures, and fatigue test the mettle of even the toughest crews. Teamwork is not optional. It is a matter of survival. And even though safety measures have improved, the threat of death always looms. For every captain featured on television, there are dozens more out there risking everything without cameras rolling. Many of them face crushing economic pressure, with the high cost of boat maintenance, gear, and labor often outweighing their profits. A bad season can mean losing a home or being forced to sell a vessel passed down through generations. In desperate bids to stay afloat, Some fishermen venture into dangerous waters or fish in treacherous conditions, further amplifying the risks they face. These behind-the-scenes realities add even greater depth to the stories told on Deadliest Catch. The personal journeys of the Harris brothers after their father's death, Josh's effort to captain the Cornelia Marie, and Jake's battles with addiction offer powerful insights into the emotional and psychological weight carried by those in this industry. Isolation, exhaustion, and the pressure to succeed can drive even the strongest individuals to the brink. Beyond the addiction narratives, the emotional toll of prolonged absences from home is staggering. These men and women miss birthdays, holidays, and important milestones, their family lives often fraying under the weight of absence and risk. For some, the sea becomes a refuge from problems on land. For others, it is a contributing force to their unraveling. Yet, amidst all this hardship, there are stories of empowerment and triumph, such as that of Mandy Hansen. As the daughter of Sig Hansen, Mandy entered an overwhelmingly male industry with determination and resilience. She faced skepticism from those who doubted her capabilities, but she earned her place through hard work, skill, and unshakable grit. Her story serves as a beacon for women in the industry and an inspiring subplot within the broader narrative of survival and legacy. Ultimately, Deadliest Catch is more than a reality show. It is a visceral, unfiltered chronicle of the human spirit's capacity to endure. It shines a spotlight on the hidden, storm-lashed world of crab fishing, celebrating the bravery of those who navigate its perils and mourning those it claims. As long as the Bering Sea continues to challenge those who dare to confront it, the stories of these fishermen, of hardship, loss, and unyielding resolve, will continue to resonate deeply with audiences around the globe. Even as Deadliest Catch sails past its 20th season, the show continues to evolve, taking on new dimensions with the introduction of younger captains, shifting regulations, and changing ocean conditions brought on by climate change. The sea itself is no longer the same creature it was when the show first aired. Rising temperatures, shifting crab migration patterns, and decreasing populations have forced crews to adapt or risk financial ruin. Entire seasons have been canceled or cut short due to quota changes and conservation efforts aimed at preserving dwindling crab stocks, leaving crews devastated and viewers confronting a stark reality. Nature is fighting back. Once abundant king crab and snow crab fisheries have seen alarming declines, forcing some boats to pivot to other species or mothball their vessels altogether. These changes are not merely inconveniences. They are existential threats to the livelihoods of multigenerational fishing families who have relied on the ocean for survival. The environmental uncertainty echoes through every episode, amplifying the tension as each pot is hauled onto the deck. When a pot comes up empty, the silence is deafening. When a pot is full, it's a fleeting triumph, not a guarantee. Crews celebrate, but they also know the next string might bring nothing. There's a raw honesty in these moments, a reminder that nature does not play favorites. These are not scripted victories or manufactured defeats. They are the ebb and flow of survival filmed in real time. The captains, too, have had to become more than just seafarers. They're now strategists, environmental observers, and mental health advocates. Sig Hansen, Keith Colburn, and others must not only chart courses and keep their crews alive, but also navigate the emotional well-being of men and women working in crushing isolation with high stakes and little rest. Many of these fishermen wrestle with PTSD, depression, or substance abuse issues. The addition of new blood to the show, like Captain Sean Dwyer of the Brenna A and younger crew members trying to prove themselves, injects fresh energy into a format built on endurance. These newer faces face the dual pressure of honoring their family's legacies while adapting to a rapidly changing industry. Sean, for example, took command of his boat at just 23 after his father's death. His leadership style is more modern, more calculated, and at times more empathetic than that of the older generation, but he faces the same brutal conditions and the same unrelenting expectations. The torch passing between generations on the show is both literal and symbolic. It reflects the real-life transition in the commercial fishing world where the old ways must give way to innovation, where grit must be paired with adaptation. Yet, even as the cast changes and the industry evolves, the emotional center of Deadliest Catch remains unchanged. It is still a show about brotherhood, about the bonds forged in adversity, and about the cost of pursuing a life defined by the sea. These fishermen are not chasing glory, they are chasing survival, and the series never lets you forget the price they pay. The stakes are heightened not just by nature but by the reality that this is a finite way of life. The oceans are changing, the industry is aging, and the stories being told today may soon become memories of a vanishing world. For every victory celebrated with a fist pump and a full pot, there are moments of heartbreaking loss. Boats capsized, crew members lost overboard, families shattered. The cameras have captured death in its most immediate forms: heart attacks, drownings, emotional breakdowns, and have done so without glamorizing it. That transparency has made Deadliest catch not just compelling, but important. It has elevated it beyond entertainment and into the realm of storytelling that matters. The show's impact has also extended far beyond the TV screen. It has sparked public interest in ocean sustainability, brought attention to the mental health crisis among commercial workers, and even inspired legislation aimed at improving safety regulations for the fishing industry. Viewers, once drawn by the spectacle, now stay for the soul. The show has created a deep empathy between its audience and its subjects, bridging the gap between those who risk their lives at sea